So you just downloaded Affinity Designer, you open it up and you're staring at a blank canvas with what feels like a million different buttons. Where do you even start? That feeling of being totally overwhelmed is the #1 reason people usually quit before they even get going with graphic design, but it really doesn't have to be that way. For the next few minutes, we're gonna swap out that intimidation for some real creative confidence. I'm gonna guide you step by step through 5 simple but surprisingly cool vector illustrations that you can make right now, even if you've never touched the design software in your life. We're gonna start off with some really simple shapes and learn how to manipulate them using the different vector tools to create just a simple graphic image, a logo, and other fun stuff that we can make through vector design. Making these projects is going to teach you the core skills needed to start making your own really great designs. So let's get started. So we've got Affinity Designer open, and first things first, let's make a new document. So tap on new document, and I'm just gonna stick in the web presets, and I'm just gonna use a social media square post, and that's just for the size. I just want a square size. Don't worry about the other settings. We're just gonna tap on OK, and then that canvas will populate for us. The first vector image we're gonna make is a shaded cloud. This project is a perfect starting point because it introduces you to the most versatile tools in the entire program, the shape tools. On the panel to your left, find the vector shape tool. It usually defaults to the rectangle tool, which is the one that we need first. But if the rectangle tool isn't in focus, just long tap and the menu of shapes will appear and locate the rectangle tool. Before I make any shape, I'm gonna choose my color. So from this color palette, I'm just gonna choose a very light cream color. And if you would like to try these projects, I have made this color palette free to download. So just click on the link in my description box and it'll take you to where you can download this. Now back in our canvas, let's go ahead and make a rectangle. So just choose a point on the canvas and then drag your Apple Pencil. I'm just making a long, narrow, horizontal rectangle. And since we know clouds aren't square like this, let's add some ellipses or circles on top of it. So back to the vector shape tool and then choose the ellipse shape tool. Now just tap and drag a series of circles of varying sizes to create the fluffiness of the cloud. And you can do this with or without the rectangle in the center. I just like to use it since it will fill up any gaps in the center, and it just, for beginner purposes, seeing empty spaces between shapes might be a little scary, so that's why I put that rectangle there. So now we need to make this into one solid shape, not just a bunch of separate ones. So first let's select all of the layers. And so you do that by going to the layer stack and either quick swipe left on each of them, or you can single finger tap the top one and then 2 finger tap the bottom one. Now that all of our shapes are selected, we'll go to the right side panel and choose the shape builder tool. And at the top, we'll tap on this plus to be in add mode. Now we can just drag our Apple Pencil across each of these shapes to turn them into one shape. And now we have a really great cloud shape, but now we want to make a shadow. First, we're going to duplicate this cloud shape by selecting our layer and then going to the 3-dot menu and choosing duplicate. Now let's change the color of the bottom cloud to blue. I'm going to select the bottom copy on my layer stack and then drag it down, holding one finger as I do so that it stays aligned with my original top image. You can leave your cloud like this and it looks really good, or you can take this bottom shape and make it look more like a natural shadow. So to do that, we can select both layers and then go back to the shape builder tool again, and then tap on the icon at the top that looks like a circle and a square overlapping. This creates a new shape from a selected area. Now tap on the blue section. That will separate that section into a different shape, and I just want that part. Now I'm just gonna drag that on top of the white cloud. So now it looks more like one singular shape form all together, and that's the shadow. And then you can use the node tool to increase the size of the curves here. But other than that, you've made a really great graphic cloud. So far you've learned how to make a new document, create shapes, merge those shapes, duplicate shapes, and that's a really great start. So let's keep going. This next project is making a nearly perfect rainbow using the shape tools again. And I'll tell you what I mean by nearly perfect in a little bit. But with this project, we're gonna play with the stroke properties in order to get the look that we want. The stroke is the outer line of a shape, and we're gonna use the stroke to make up the colors of our rainbow in a really strategic way. So to get started, I'm gonna use the shape tool again, but we're gonna use the segment tool. This is a circle that you can make, but it will create a flat flat lower edge, and you can adjust what percent of the circle is flattened, and I'm going to choose 60%. Then I want to increase the stroke width to 15 points. Let's choose a color for our shape. First, we need to remove the color fill. The color fill is the full circle, and the stroke color is the circle with the hole missing in the middle. So for this first one, I'm going to choose pink. Instead of red for my rainbow, I kind of like a pinky magenta instead of a red for my rainbow. Next, tap on the stroke properties, and next to align, choose this option where it makes the stroke go to the outer edge. Now we can tap and drag and make our first arc shape for our rainbow. You'll see that it makes this lower line, and don't worry, we'll remove that later, but before we do that, we need to make the rest of our rainbow arcs. So duplicate this first arc and then change the color to the next color of the rainbow. Then with the move and transform arrow, grab the corner and make it smaller, adjusting it so that it's aligned with that inner center of that first arc. And just make sure you don't create any gaps in between the arcs. We'll just repeat this, duplicating the arc, changing its color, and then resizing and repositioning it until we have all the colors of the rainbow. And I call this a nearly perfect rainbow because we don't use precision for this process of transforming and moving them. You don't need to still make a really great rainbow shape. And as you repeat the process, Affinity's Power Duplicate will kick in and anticipate where you want the next arc moved automatically for you. You might end up not even having to move your last couple arcs. So once they're all created, we want to cut off this lower line. To do that, we're going to use the knife tool, but first we need to convert these arcs into filled shapes. So select them all and go to the three-dot menu and select Expand Stroke. Now we can use the knife tool on them. Keep them all selected and turn on the knife tool. At the top, tap on this line icon so that when we make a cut, it makes a straight line. Now find a spot to start your horizontal cut. So tap and then hold one finger down so that your line stays perfectly straight, and then cut across all the way. That will divide each of the arcs. And then we can just go to the layer stack and delete the segments that we don't want. Now we can just group the remaining shapes together and it looks like a really great rainbow. And we can even pair it with the cloud that we made in our first project, and you've made a really cute vector rainbow with a cloud. It's such a fun and simple way to learn these tools. So next up, we're going to make a simple and modern geometric logo. This is a great way to practice using multiple tools to make one cohesive design. So first we'll use the ellipse tool and make a circle. Start making your circle and then hold one finger down on your screen as you drag your Apple Pencil to make that circle. Keeping that one finger down keeps this a perfect circle for you. Now let's give it some color. And I just want to make sure that it's set to color fill. I don't want to stroke fill on this one, and use this orangey yellow from the color palette. Now we're going to create a wave shape. For this, I'm going to choose the triangle. So I'll just make a simple triangle shape, but this doesn't have to be a perfect triangle. We're going to be making a lot of adjustments to it to make it into a wave. But before we do that, let's change the color, and I'm just going to choose something around a navy blue. In order to shape this triangle into that wave, we need to convert it into curves. And you can tap on this icon here that looks like a triangle with nodes on each corner. This basically unlocks your shape so that you can edit it freely. But if you don't see that icon, you can always just select that triangle layer and then go to the three-dot menu and choose Convert to Curves from there. Now turn on the node tool. The node tool is this little white arrow underneath the black arrow. And with the node tool, we're going to shape the edge of the triangle and make a wave shape. We're going to pull on the top edge to make it curve outward, adjust the corners to make it look a little less like a triangle and more like a wave. And then on the bottom, I will add a new node so that we can make a sort of S curve. So with that node tool, I just tap along the center of the line and then adjust these three nodes and handles to make that S curve. And you can just use this same method, adding another node to make another curve on the wave on this edge, just shaping it until it makes a nice wave shape that you're happy with. So now we have two overlapping shapes, but we want to turn them into a cohesive logo. So I want to create a cutout from the circle in the shape of the wave. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate the wave. So we're gonna use that shape builder tool again and subtract a section out. Select the circle layer in the lower wave and turn on the shape builder tool. Then tap on the minus symbol at the top for subtract. And then tap on the part of the wave that overlaps with the circle. Now in the layer stack, delete that extra part of the extra wave that we made. Now I'm just gonna simply make the circle smaller so that it reveals that cutout, and reposition it so the tip of the wave matches with the tips of the cutout. Next, I'll convert this circle to curve so we can round out this node here. So just adjust the node so it looks rounded and it's not that pointy edge. At this point, you can add a gradient to each shape and add any corresponding text like a brand name matching the color of the text to the shapes. And just like that, you've made a really simple, scalable logo. Okay, so now you've gotten the hang of basic shapes. Let's assemble them into something a little more recognizable. A cute little potted plant is a great way to combine shapes and turn them into a full illustration, and it just makes something really sweet. So let's start off with some leaves. First, let's make a green circle and then duplicate it. Then I'm gonna move the duplicate circle over so it makes a kind of Venn diagram. And we're gonna tap and hold one finger as we drag it to keep it in line with the first circle. And we're gonna make a leaf shape from this center of the Venn diagram. So I'll just select both circles and then just use the shape tool again and tap the subtract. And then I'm just gonna subtract out the outsides of the circles. That will leave you with two leaf shapes, and I'm just gonna delete one. Now I'm gonna choose a darker green and turn on the rectangle tool. Make a rectangle that covers exactly half of the leaf lengthwise. And just to make sure, you can turn on the magnetics and snapping by tapping on this little magnet icon. That will show you a center line to let you know that the edge of your rectangle is right in the center. Now that our rectangle is in the right spot, we're going to use the shape tool again to delete out the outside of the rectangle. So now that we have our leaf shape, we can group it and then duplicate it. And we can reshape any of the duplicates slightly, rotating them and making a little plant shape. Now grab the rectangle tool again. So I'm going to draw a short, wide rectangle, and this is going to be our pot. But let's make it a nice terracotta color first. And most pots aren't perfectly straight, right? They taper at the bottom. So to do this, we need the node tool. And again, we'll convert this shape to curves so that we can adjust its sides freely. With the node tool active, tap on the bottom left corner point of your rectangle and move it inward. And then repeat that with the bottom right corner. And that was just an easy way to make that classic tapering of a pot. So before I make the rim of the pot, I want to create a shadow that goes under the rim. So I'm going to use the pen tool for this. And then in the color panel, I'll just pick a slightly darker shade for the pot color. And then with that pen tool, I'll just tap 3 times to make a thin triangle shape. Then I'll turn on that shape builder tool and select the triangle I made and the pot. Now I'll tap the minus at the top to subtract, and then tap the corners of the triangle that went beyond the pot. So now we can draw in the rim. So I'll grab the rectangle tool again and choose the lighter terracotta color and draw a slightly wider and shorter rectangle that overlaps over the top of the pot. Also convert this to curves. I just like to round out the edges to make it look a little cuter, and you can do that with the larger part of the pot as well. And this is a great way to use basic shapes, customize them, and create something that looks really great. So far, we've made so much progress in building your skills here in Affinity. So far everything has been really clean and geometric, but we can also make organic and freeform vectors as well. For this project, we'll use the pencil tool to create some flowy, natural looking botanical elements. So unlike the pen tool, the pencil tool lets you draw totally freehand. So look to the toolbar at the top and find the setting called stabilizer. And we're going to turn on the window stabilizer. And then on the slider, we'll just turn up the value so that it makes a nice smooth line. This is going to smooth out your shaky movements and make it way easier to draw clean lines. So first let's draw a branch, and I'm just going to choose some random bright colors. Now I'm just going to tap and drag a slightly wobbly curved line across the canvas, and don't stress about making it perfect. It's the little imperfections that will make it look really natural. So I'm just going to draw a simple leaf shape coming off the side of the branch. It doesn't need to be symmetrical at all, and you could just draw in all of your leaves that you want, but you can always just be a little bit lazy. Instead of drawing every single leaf, you can always just draw it once and then select it and duplicate it, and then with the move and transform tool, rotate it and reposition it. And for the leaves on the other side, open up the transform panel on the right side here and mirror the leaf and then just keep positioning them. And this looks really great as it is, but if you want, you can add some simple berries. So you can grab the ellipse tool, pick a nice contrasting color, and draw some tiny perfect circles. Again, holding that finger down to make that perfect circle. Duplicate it a couple times, cluster them. You can just distribute these cute little berries all over your stem. And you can just keep making more and more of these free-form, almost mid-century modern style botanical elements. They're very bohemian. These are a super popular graphic design element right now, and making these shows you how easy it is to draw your own vector shapes. And by using the pencil tool with the stabilizer, you've learned how to create art with a completely different feel. These kinds of hand-drawn elements are perfect for patterns, greeting cards, or just adding a natural touch to your designs. So you just tried 5 projects, and that is 5 brand new sets of skills. You started with a blank, intimidating screen, and now you have a cloud, a rainbow, a really great looking logo, and some great botanical elements that you can use in any project. You've learned how to create shapes, combine shapes, subtract shapes, draw freehand, and layer your work to create some depth. And these are the absolute core fundamentals of vector design. That fear of the blank page is just completely gone, and it's been replaced with the knowledge that you have the skills and the tools needed to make anything that you can imagine. And if you like this way of learning vector design in Affinity Designer, just low pressure, basically just having fun, I've got 5 more projects that you can try in this video right here.